You think it's just a normal conversation, but her body is telling a completely different story. While you're focused on her words, a set of powerful, hidden forces are sending signals of attraction she might not even be aware of. In this video, we're decoding the secret signals her conscious mind might hide, but her body cannot. Most guys miss their chance not because they say the wrong thing, but because they never learn to see what's right in front of them. Today, that ends. A woman's attraction doesn't come with a user manual. She doesn't announce it to the room. Instead, she gives you pieces of a puzzle through an ancient, unspoken language. This isn't about playing games, it's about seeing what's real. It's about understanding the things her body, her voice, and her habits can't hide, even when her words try to. The signals of lust aren't always loud and obvious. More often, they're subtle, almost invisible cues that most men are never trained to see. They mistake genuine attraction for simple friendliness, and the moment passes. The connection fizzles, and she walks away, assuming her signals weren't received, or that you just weren't interested. But what if you could learn to read this hidden language? In this video, we're going to uncover the 5 core hidden forces that drive a woman's body language when she feels a deep pull of attraction. These forces have roots in psychology and human evolution, and because they are largely involuntary, they are some of the most honest indicators of her true feelings. Once you learn to see them at play, you'll move from guessing to knowing. You'll build the confidence to act, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. So, where does this all start? With force number 1. The first and most fundamental force is what I call the Primal Invitation. This is where her body subconsciously says, "I am open to you. I am safe with you. Approach." This is shown through open posture and the removal of physical barriers. When a woman is attracted to you, her body will often adopt an open and expansive posture. This means uncrossed arms, uncrossed legs, and a torso aimed directly at you. You might see her straighten her spine, lift her chest, and pull her shoulders back. This isn't just about looking confident. It's an ancient display with evolutionary roots. This posture signals safety and receptiveness. It's a non-verbal way of saying she doesn't feel threatened and is open to your presence. A closed-off posture is a defensive shield. An open one is an invitation. It's also a way to subconsciously display her feminine form. In fact, a 2016 study found that both men and women who adopt these expansive postures are seen as more romantically desirable because it conveys a sense of confidence and openness. So when she arches her back slightly or stands with her weight on one hip, it's not just a random stance, it's her biology accentuating features that signal health and fertility, key components of mate selection for millennia. But the Primal Invitation goes beyond posture. It extends to the space between you. Pay close attention to what happens to objects when you interact. A woman who isn't interested will often keep or create barriers. She'll hold her purse on her lap or her drink in front of her chest. These are subconscious blockades. On the flip side, when a woman feels attraction, she will start to remove these barriers. She might move her purse from her lap to the side or put her drink down on the table, clearing the space between you. These actions, while small, are deeply meaningful. She is non-verbally clearing the path for more connection and intimacy. Picture this. You're at a lounge and see a woman at a table, bag on the chair beside her, arms crossed. A closed circuit. But then you start a conversation, and you notice a series of micro-shifts. Her arms uncross. She turns her body to face you. She then grabs her bag and puts it on the floor. She hasn't said a word about her interest, but her body has practically shouted it. She's just sent you the Primal Invitation. The key here is crucial. You're not just looking for an open personality. You're looking for the shift from closed to open that happens because you're there. That's the signal. The second hidden force is one of the most undeniable signals. I call it the Dopamine Gaze. While the old saying goes that the eyes are the window to the soul, science tells us they are a direct window to the brain's arousal system. The biggest clue here is something she has zero conscious control over: pupil dilation. When we see something or someone we find desirable, our brain releases a cocktail of neurochemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine. This chemical surge activates the sympathetic nervous system, causing our pupils to involuntarily widen. A woman can control her words or fake a smile, but she can't control the muscles in her irises. So, if you're in a conversation under stable lighting and notice her pupils seem unusually large, that's a biological flare, a microscopic signal of attraction that's nearly impossible to fake. Of course, keep in mind that lighting, fatigue, or other strong emotions can also affect pupil size, so this signal is most powerful when combined with others. But the dopamine gaze is more than just pupil dilation. It's also about a specific pattern of eye contact. Holding someone's gaze longer than is socially typical is a powerful act of intimacy. When she holds your gaze for that extra second or two, she's subconsciously signaling a desire for a deeper connection. This often shows up in what's called the coy gaze. She looks at you, holds the gaze with a small, genuine smile, then looks away or down before looking back at you again. This look away, look back dance is a classic flirtation ritual that communicates attraction without being overly aggressive. You might see it from across the room as an invitation, or it might happen in the middle of a conversation right after you've made her laugh. In that moment, her eyes lock onto yours, her pupils wide, holding for just a beat longer than necessary. Her brain isn't just processing a joke, it's broadcasting a powerful signal of connection and desire. The third hidden force is one of the most fascinating indicators of deep rapport: the subconscious mirror. Psychologists call it behavioral synchrony, or the chameleon effect. This is when a woman unconsciously starts to mimic your body language, gestures, or even your speech patterns. It's her brain's way of non-verbally saying, "We are in sync." This isn't her deliberately copying you. It's a deeply ingrained, automated process linked to parts of the brain that handle empathy and connection. When we feel a strong sense of rapport with someone, our brain wants to align with them, which creates a feedback loop. Mirroring builds rapport, and rapport leads to more mirroring. So, what does this look like? It can be very subtle. You lean forward on the table, and a few seconds later, she leans forward too. You take a slow sip from your drink, and a moment later, she reaches for hers. You rest your chin on your hand, and she adopts a similar posture. You might even notice her matching your vocal tone. If you speak in a low, calm voice, her voice might soften to match yours. This synchrony is a powerful sign because it's so hard to fake over time. Maintaining that subconscious dance of gestures and energy for a whole conversation is nearly impossible unless the rapport is genuine. Try a small test next time you're sitting across from her. While she's talking, casually touch your face or run a hand through your hair. Then, watch. If you notice her make a similar gesture within the next minute, you may be seeing the subconscious mirror in action. It's not just a sign she's being friendly. It is a sign of deep, primal connection. Her brain has identified you as someone she is in tune with on a level that bypasses conscious thought. We're about to get into two of the most powerful forces that signal lust, including how she uses touch to test your interest. But if you're getting value out of this, hit that like button. It tells YouTube you want more content like this and helps the channel grow. Now, let's get back to it. The fourth hidden force is the vulnerability signal. These are self-touching behaviors that serve two purposes. They act as subconscious preening gestures to enhance her attractiveness, and they function as probes that draw your attention to her more vulnerable and erogenous zones. When a woman is around a man she's attracted to, her nervous energy often needs an outlet, and it comes out in the form of specific, evolutionarily programmed gestures. Let's start with touching the neck and collarbone area. When she tilts her head and exposes her neck or lightly touches her clavicle, it's more than a casual gesture. On a primal level, the neck is a symbol of vulnerability. Exposing it is an act of trust. It's a subconscious way of saying, I feel safe enough with you to expose a delicate part of myself, while also drawing your eye to an area associated with intimacy. Then there's hair play, flipping, twirling, or running her fingers through her hair. On the surface, this is preening, making sure she looks her best. Healthy hair is an ancient signal of youth and vitality, so drawing attention to it is a way to broadcast her genetic fitness. It also helps release her pheromones and frames her face, pulling your focus to her eyes and smile. Perhaps the most direct signals involve the mouth, licking, biting, or gently touching the lips. Arousal can cause a dry mouth, prompting her to lick her lips. This, in turn, draws moisture and redness to them, making them appear fuller and more inviting. Biting her lower lip can be a sign of nervous tension, but in a flirtatious context, it's a powerful signal that focuses your attention on her mouth. Similarly, watch her hands. She might slowly stroke her own arm, wrist, or thigh. This can be her way of demonstrating a comfort with her own sensuality in your presence and non-verbally mapping out sensitive areas. The key is context. A woman might play with her hair when she's bored or bite her nails when stressed, but if these gestures increase dramatically when she's talking to you and happen while she's holding eye contact, they are no longer just habits. They are the unmistakable signs of a body broadcasting its attraction. The final hidden force is arguably the most decisive: the proximity test. This is when a woman actively closes the physical distance between you and often initiates subtle forms of touch. This is the ultimate test of comfort and a direct precursor to intimacy. We all have a personal bubble, an intimate space that we only let trusted people into. When a woman voluntarily enters this zone, it's a profound statement of trust and desire. This can happen in a few ways. The most obvious is leaning in. When you're speaking, she'll lean her head and torso closer, not just because she can't hear you, but because she subconsciously wants to be nearer to you. Another way she bridges the gap is with her positioning. In a group, notice who she sits or stands next to. If she consistently places herself in your orbit, she's voting with her feet. Pay attention to her feet and hips. Often, even if her head is turned to talk to someone else, her body will remain oriented toward the person she's most interested in. Then, there's the powerful signal of touch. The first touch is a huge psychological threshold. A woman who is attracted to you will often find small, deniable excuses to make physical contact. It might be a light touch on your arm as she laughs, or her hand brushing against yours. These accidental touches are often subconscious probes to test your reaction. Do you pull away, or do you accept it? Each small touch that is accepted builds a bridge toward greater intimacy. As her comfort grows, the touches may become more deliberate. She might let her hand linger on your shoulder or allow her knee to rest against yours. This is a clear signal that she is actively enjoying the feeling of physical contact. The proximity test is the culmination of the other forces. When a woman is consistently closing the distance and finding ways to touch you, her body is giving you an unambiguous green light. Now, before you diagnose every hair flip as a sign of undying lust, you must understand the cluster caveat. A single signal can mean anything or nothing. A woman might cross her arms because she's cold, not because she's closed off. She might touch her neck because it itches. The power of reading body language is in the clusters. You're not looking for one sign. You are looking for 3, 4, or 5 of them happening together. Is she leaning in, proximity test, while mirroring your posture, subconscious mirror, and touching her neck, vulnerability signal? That is a powerful cluster. The secret isn't to become a robotic detective checking off boxes. It's to develop a holistic awareness. Feel the shift in the dynamic. Does the collection of her non-verbal signals feel different with you than with others? When you see a cluster of these 5 forces, you can be confident that what you're sensing is real. These are the 5 hidden forces behind a woman's body language of attraction. Number 1, the primal invitation, where her body opens up and removes barriers. Number 2. The dopamine gaze, where her eyes betray her interest. Number 3. The subconscious mirror, where her body syncs with yours. Number 4. The vulnerability signal, where she draws your attention with preening and probing gestures. And number 5. The proximity test, where she closes the distance and initiates touch. These aren't just tricks. They are fundamental drivers of human interaction, with roots in our psychology and evolution. They are the silent, honest conversation happening just beneath the surface. Learning to see these forces is a superpower. It allows you to navigate the world of attraction with confidence, to see the green lights she's sending when her words are still hesitant. You stop guessing and start connecting. Your next step is to start observing. Watch people in cafes, in bars, in meetings. See if you can spot these forces at play. The more you train your perception, the more intuitive it will become. If this guide has opened your eyes, make sure you subscribe. We explore this kind of material every single week. For your next step, I highly recommend you watch the video on the screen now, which covers the 7 vocal clues that reveal her hidden desire. Because once you can read her body, learning to read her voice is the final piece of the puzzle. Click the video and I'll see you there.